Fight Talk 24/7. We're here in Bradford at Black Spider. We're here with the infamous Brett Hawthorne, who's joined, and I keep saying this, he's mad to join Fight Talk. And we're here at Yannick's gym.
Yeah, so Yannick, first time I ever got to see you were actually from my dad. My dad gave me a call. He said, "You better get down. We've got a guy from Africa who's just tearing up the scene in Bradford wrestling." He said, "If we can make a champion out of somebody, it's going to be Yannick." So I heard about it from my dad and I come down and I thought, yeah, this guy's legit, man. And we've obviously built a friendship since.
Yeah. So
So Yannick, first of all, obviously explain to the people how your story began and how you get to come to Bradford.
okay, so I'm fighting at the national team from Cameroon, and we're having a competition in England. So we came here, then we having the competition. I'm winning the bronze medal. I think the competition was in Northern Ireland. And things doesn't go a certain way, and then we end up claiming asylum. And after the asylum, we've been granted to live and remain in the UK. So that's how I'm moving from Cameroon to the UK, and then now I get given the house to live in Bradford.
Okay. So as far back as you can remember,
Yeah.
how did you get into combat sports and which discipline did you get into first?
So that's the funny thing. The way I get into combat sport is my neighbor was doing wrestling and bodybuilding, and I was more impressed by his morphology, how muscling was the guy. So I was just wanted to be like him, not even more interested into the fight. And because I start doing I was going to him and like I want to be like you, and he start doing press up, make me doing press up and sit up, and then just one day he just said to my mom, I want to take him, to do some fight, and then he took me to doing judo. That's how I started doing judo, and I was really strong. No technique at all, but managed to take people on the floor and stuff. So that's how I started judo, getting interest of doing fight, and then start doing judo progressively, moving into wrestling, and then progressively moving to sambo.
And for me, obviously, Brett's a world-renowned wrestler. Yourself, judo. Was that something that you just automatically fell in love with, or was there a bit of with the family ties saying, "Oh yeah, let's get into that"? Or you saw your neighbour and you started the bodybuilding, you felt. Was there any pressure from the family or anything like that? Any
There,
influence?
there is no really influence, because what you're gonna see in my family, I'm the only one that is involved into martial art when it comes to my family. Now after me, a lot of people that came through. So a lot of my family is more football kind of
Yeah,
it.
we spoke off camera about that.
Yes, so I was the only one that went through that stage of that route of martial art. And when it started getting productive, this is where all my younger brothers and my sisters got involved in everything.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So that's what I wanted to ask because I've actually got to wrestle a couple of African nations before.
yeah.
But for example, you do combat. What's the culture like there around combat sports? Which is the biggest? Do you, like if you're going to take up a particular? Because I know that wrestling is pretty popular throughout
Yeah.
the full of Africa. They've got traditional styles like they've got that lamb in Senegal.
Yeah.
But what's the combat scene like in Africa or specifically Cameroon?
In Africa, and especially in Cameroon, if I want to take in order, we're gonna after the football, let's say finish the football in general sport. I think when it's coming to combat sport, the first sport in Cameroon is gonna be judo. I could say 90% of the kids that doing combat sport, 90% are involved into judo. And the second combat sport that coming after is wrestling. And then after wrestling, we have sambo, and after sambo, them little sport coming after taekwondo, boxing, and all the rest. But judo and wrestling in Cameroon are the most common and popular sport.
And Francis Ngannou is from
Yeah, Francis Ngannou is from Cameroon.
yeah.
and like now it's more famous about MMA.
Yeah.
But in Cameroon,
Yeah.
we don't practice that more MMA.
Yeah, I was gonna say
yeah,
after someone like Francis Ngannou comes on the scene, it's gonna.
yeah.
That's gonna explode.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Cameroon.
yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
see a few Francis and guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, people now, because of him and because of the impact and the influence that we came here and then we started doing MMA. Francis Ngannou did MMA. We have few guys that are going out and do MMA. It start getting there, but now the problem is the infrastructure. Like getting the cage round in Cameroon, get kids to get MMA glove, boxing glove, and shin pad and all that is not quite affordable for people.
Yeah.
That making the sport not going how it should be or how make it grow. Because if you want to talking about maybe the financial point of view, when here the MMA gloves cost about maybe the minimum is about £10, let's say £10, £15. When you want to do like a conversion of France money, African
Yeah,
money,
yeah.
it's massive.
It's massive.
People
yeah,
won't be able to afford to get just the normal equipment to be able to practice the martial art itself.
Yeah, that's one thing that I always say about any sport in general. It's always down to the. It's yeah. Because when I was growing up, I used to say to my father like, "Oh, can I go there?" And it was a distance, and
Yeah.
there's one man, providing for the four children and looking after the family.
Yeah.
But there's so many variables. But when you look at it now,
That's even true over here though. There's
Yeah, that's what I'm
that
saying.
famous coach said it is like one of the dads come up to him. He's like, "How do you know which kid's gonna be the best out of these?" These were tennis. Like, which kid's gonna be the best out of these? Like I said, "You wanna know how you find out? See which car the dad's driving." He goes,
Yeah.
"And then I'll tell you."
Yeah.
Meaning, whoever's got the most money, that's the kid that's gonna go the furthest. Which is
Yeah.
a shame, really, because
Yeah.
like I said, mate, I've wrestled in Africa. I wrestled the South African team come over, Nigerians, and they're unbelievable. The women's Nigerian team's I think they're like top 4 in the world.
Yeah.
But the talent over there is massive. But maybe they just don't have the infrastructure, the backing
Yeah,
that
the
can
backing.
actually pass them.
Yeah. How long have you been here, Yannick? Now.
Now it's going to be 10 years.
10 years. So in them 10
Aye.
years, you've had a good look at the British MMA scene. What do
Yeah.
you think about the British MMA scene?
The British MMA is on board at the moment now compared to before. We have a lot of them now in the UFC, which is good. We have some big team that are having a lot of product that some kid junior MMA, a lot of competition going around. We have all stages, beginning to advance to get to UFC. But for me, I think it's a massive show. We doesn't have. I don't know. I don't know how to explain that. But for me, it's no route where I will take in my own kids into that route, into that path for so many reasons.
Yeah.
Whichever is education wise, if I'm talking about that, financial wise, the risk that kids have to go through for whichever purpose. You get me? So I've got so many concern when it comes to it.
True, yeah.
You get me? It's a business for me. It's not for me. I'm taking MMA as a business, not as a sport. Really.
Yeah, it's mad because Brett and I always speak about it, and we always because you come from the discipline of wrestling, Brett, and it's completely different. And I see it because I travel up and down the. I've been around the world and I've started to see, don't get me wrong, a Khabib and a Conor, and they were fantastic athletes, but the thing now that's being created, especially here in the UK, and I'll speak about the UK scene, is this whole let's just pump in the money, the kids from a young age. Brett, what's your thoughts on that? On a
think
young
just-
age, they're getting 35 hours a week training, and what's it?
I don't MMA. I can't talk about. I've never done MMA. But what I say is, you got to remember, wrestling's been around hundreds of years, thousands of years. It's the
Yeah.
only sport known to man. Judo's been around hundreds of years. They've had the infrastructure that's been put in place. And I can look at a program. So, for example, I can look at an American program, Penn State. They've just won 15 titles in a row. What are they doing? How they're coaching? So I can see judo. All right, which countries are doing well? Georgia, Japan. How's the structure? All right, so they've got camps to train this much as a kid. By the time they're 13, they're doing this. By the time they're 15, they should be at this. So you've got something to follow. MMA is brand new. So I feel like people are just watching what these professionals are doing at 30 years old, 28, and they're throwing the kid in it.
Yeah.
But really, like yourself in judo, at 4 and 6 year old, you're learning rolls. You're learning how to fall.
Yeah.
You're learning respect. You learn to stand up, shake your opponent's hand. By
Yeah.
8 to 9, 10, then you start learning a bit more technique, how to throw, how to land. By 12, then you start going competition, big competition, you progress. So you know what route you should go.
Yeah.
Whereas MMA is brand new, nobody really knows yet. You'll find, I guess you're going to find out, aren't you? In 10
Yeah.
years, you're even going to say, friggin' hell,
This
it
kid.
paid off,
Yeah.
or friggin' hell, my kid's broken in pieces.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
put two MMA fighter from one that did MMA for 20 years, another guy that did MMA for 2 years. We can't even be able to identify which higher than the other one.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no respect. This
Yeah.
all for me. That's is personal what I'm thinking. Like when you come into something like a judo kind of thing or wrestling, there's some kind of respect when you come on the mat. The atmosphere on there, what to do, what you can't do on the mat, what you cannot do. When you see them,
Yeah.
there's sometime in MMA fight, you can see a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old can show the fingers to other one. There's some kind of value that we don't want our kid to be involved into.
Yeah, and that's a massive thing for me as well. It's just the upbringing, obviously, probably my parents, my community, friends, and you develop a certain way of thinking and behaving. And no disrespect to any fighter, because every fighter that gets in there, they hats off to them, because I put a post up the other day. Well, I'm 39, and should I have my first fight? Because I feel like every man should be able to test himself and do that. But this new culture of this, especially, and no disrespect to any MMA fighter, but what we're creating is a really, really bad thing, I say, because the whole disrespect thing and the bravado. But then you think about it and you think these guys it's a business as well. If they have to sell.
Yannick said the exact word, MMA is a business.
It's a business.
Think about who made the most money in
McGregor,
MMA.
McGregor,
And
Khabib,
what did they do?
yeah,
Promote themselves.
yeah,
Simple. In wrestling, you don't have to promote yourself. You're turning up to. If you're the best, you're going to be the best.
Yeah.
yeah,
In MMA, it doesn't really work like that. And from what I've seen,
yeah,
it's all about who gives you the shot, and the way you
Yeah.
get the shot is by using that, innit?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
The mouth.
so
yeah.
can you blame people? I don't think you
Yeah.
can really blame them. If you're gonna, if it depends what your goal is. If your goal is money, then that's what you got to do.
Yeah.
But if your goal is to be a world champion in a sport, and it's a different route, you work in the shadows, man.
That's
You
the
keep
thing
quiet.
as well, Brett, because the goal all the time, the goal is stop there. Like when it comes to MMA, for me, the goal is stop where when you get world champion. Now after
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
that what are you
Then
doing
you
after
go
that?
on it.
Yeah,
Then you can
yeah.
go.
That after
Then
that
you
what?
can do this.
And when you're doing something like judo, you do something like wrestling, you have so many opportunities. Now you have the grading system where you're learning this to get
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
After that, if you don't want to fight, you could become a coach, you could start sharing them knowledge.
Yeah.
And then it's more about value. Like when you come to a thing like judo, you come to wrestling, you come to sambo, the martial art have that first the value that we're trying to transmit. And then it's a level of understanding it, doing it, and now get to a certain level, and then the next stage where you have to transmit that to other people.
Yeah. And do you think in the Western world we lack that? As obviously you were born and bred in Africa, you're brought up a certain way. Do you feel like and let's just say you've had 10 years here now, what do you see in the difference in the youth? I know it's like Brettel, he's born and bred here as well, but he went through a discipline,
Yeah.
and that's wrestling that's been around for thousands of years, and it teaches you that. Do you feel like in the Western world we have the youth? Brett, you can answer this because you were, you're in education as well. Like, do we feel like we lack that respect, and it's all about run? Because there was a documentary Louis Theroux did the other day, and it's quite dangerous what we're creating. So, what's your thought on that?
Just a quick, just to come around before I answer that question. Orton family, like Brett is dad, because I know his dad before knowing him and all his brother.
I think everyone knows his
They
dad.
they are the more respectful and honorable people that I know in all Bradford when it's come to martial art.
100%, very, very, very.
And they're doing wrestling. They
Yeah.
is coming to that again.
Yeah,
The foundation. What is the martial art teach?
yeah.
Do you get me? Like people are gonna be like, oh, Black Spider against that team, we have in trouble and whatever. Where is nearly the only place where I know I could say to my student, there's a breast timetable. I want you guys to go there every Friday. I want you guys to go there every time. Because I know the environment that I have here, they will find the same environment there. I know the coach have a certain value, And then I know that's the same thing that I'm doing is going to be doing the same thing with my student.
Yeah.
Brett's daughter training in my gym. I will send my kid to his gym because we're sharing the same value.
Same values.
Now, coming back to your question, which is about the respect from where I'm coming from and here in England
Yeah.
toward the kid and toward the adult. I was just making a little story. When I came in UK, I used to train in SPG South Shield.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
And my coach used to talk to me, and when he's angry, maybe asking me a question. Back home, you answer to your coach when he answers this kind of question where the coach asks you. It's kind of tricky. You can't answer. It's a bit like kind of disrespect to answer. So you have to maybe bend your head down and be like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, it's right and whatever. But when I was doing that, my coach was getting more upset. Like, why you don't answer? You disrespect me and stuff. And then I get home and then I get confused. I'm thinking, how come I kind of no answer to show him respect, but it getting frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah.
Because for us, it's like, if I say, oh, so you didn't clean this mat. Did you clean it? Why you didn't clean it? If my coach asked that, I know I didn't clean, so I feel like, a bit guilty. I will bend my head down like, yeah. But for him, me not answering was disrespectful.
Oh, yeah,
and I feel like, which world am I?
Yeah.
It's hard, which world am I? It's like, oh, he's doing. So me should be like, oh yeah, I didn't clean it. So what? So it's normal for them. It's common. But we didn't grow up like that. The martial art didn't tell us this. When you come to judo, it teach you the rule. You have respect, self-control. You have this, you have that. Modesty, courtesy. You can't even talk about yourself a certain level. People come to me, it's like, oh, Yannick, you're 3-time African champion. You're British champion in sambo. You're this. Like, yeah, it's okay. It's, it's fine. We can't put ourselves a certain way. People can talk about it, but not us. And the respect is more important when it comes to kids. Whatever you teach them, whichever environment they get in when they're younger, they will take it further.
Yeah. What's your take on it, on all of it, Brett?
Just what you finished off with there. It's like you might have 100 kids come here academy, and realistically, out of 100 kids, how many is going to make it to the top level?
Yeah.
1, 2, 2 if you're lucky. If you're a very good coach, then you might get a few. But out of them 100 kids, if they stay with you 2 years, if you can teach them one thing, and you've already won, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you know, like if you can teach them, you'd be humble. You'd never show off your achievement as if we're in a bragging manner. You shake hands with your opponent, you respect the training. It all comes down to respect. If you don't respect your partner, then you can't train hard.
And that, touching on that, it was like what you and the coach from the wrestling where we went to that interclub. And just before it all started, you shake hands and you were going through the, show respect. And I feel like, and we all have a part to play. I, as a media guy, you as a coach, the guy down the street, the MMA gym or the boxing or whatever. I feel like as time's going on, the older coaches used to, it was all about discipline. It was all about respect. I feel like if we kind of all have our part to play, and hopefully.
But then it comes down to the parents, man. That's the problem. Because kids are kids. Listen, not all kids are the same. They're innocent. They want to learn. They're going to listen. They listen up to someone who's older. They have respect. But if it's the parent at home, man. That's the most. I think so anyway.
No, you're right. You're right. I had a meeting with parents where after the meeting, I'm thinking, I know where that behavior from the kids coming from. Just with having a conversation with the kids, and then I'm like, wow. And sometimes the reason why it helped me, most of the time, without disrespect to my friend Brett, is sometimes I have Asian or black people that the kids doing there, I'm thinking, where the hell are you coming from? Because we expect like, okay, we're in England, and then it could be that way with English culture. Sometimes we thinking, without disrespect to Brett and stuff like that. But us, when I see an Asian, where we used to be like, oh, you're doing wrong, we're getting a little whack. And I see,
I must be half Asian.
And then that's not like what Brett and I always speak about. It's not. I don't think it's any. You can't really look at a person's culture anymore because it's this is more like what we're living through now.
mad?
Yeah.
You know, like people are looking at the internet and they're looking
Now,
at
now you're
these.
going to jail if you get
Yeah,
caught slapping
yeah.
them.
And
Yeah.
there's no more that going on
Yeah,
now.
it's
It's
no
more
more,
they're
man.
looking up at these men and let's just say men because I'm just thinking about the Louis Theroux documentary, and they're
Yeah.
looking at that for inspiration and quick money, and you know they've got no respect for values and stuff like that. And this is why I will always say a child, it don't have to be MMA, it don't have to be boxing, any sport.
Yeah.
If your parents get you into any sport and you learn discipline, respect, and all of that kind of stuff, I think it's a massive achievement, and children learn a lot from it personally. But let's move on anyway, because you
I was going to
know,
ask on your training. So, you know, obviously you did judo to
Yeah.
a very high level. In Africa, they're training simultaneously with wrestling. So, if you're a judo
Yeah.
player, you also wrestle with the wrestling team.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah. And what, like, for me, I've traveled the world. I've trained, I never got to train in Africa,
Yeah.
but I've trained in America, trained in Russia, Ukraine, a lot of Eastern Europe. What's the differences in training? Is it the mentality? Is it the hours you put in? Like, what have you noticed?
Yeah, I would think this. I would say the mentality first, and then the hours as well. Coming to the mentality, every single of them want to be on top. Like in the club, we have first a lot of people that could have be the same way. Before you having one guy represent a club for the national competition, he have to be on top of maybe 4, 5, 6, 7 people in the same gym that are making the same way.
yeah,
And then no one want to be the last. There's a constant competition all the time, every single time to be better.
That's how it went.
yeah.
Now, times wise that we put in training is we don't have a lot of what can I say, work. So people doesn't work.
The work ethic.
Yeah.
The work,
There's
yeah.
no work ethic.
So people are all the time a bit free after school. Like if I take my example, after school I was a bit free. I don't do nothing.
Yeah.
So in our gym we had an hour for judo. After that hour for judo is an hour sambo, an hour wrestling, an hour taekwondo.
Yeah.
So after my hour judo, I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Let me go just try it. Or the wrestling guy will say to me, that's how I started wrestling.
Yeah.
Because my friend from wrestling said to me, oh, you just wearing gi, take that gi and come on. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Let's
let
have
me
it.
dress, let me
Yeah,
have it.
yeah,
You get
yeah,
me?
yeah.
And then you could end up finding yourself having 4 hours training session
Yeah.
a day,
Yeah.
and then that build up. Because as long as you put the hours in, and then
You
you
get
learn a
better.
different skill, and then you get better. You keep enjoying it. You get better. So sambo, judo first, and then the times in, and then wrestling as well. The choir.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah.
You know, you just remind me of a question because I was thinking about it over a couple of weeks now. We've had examples of many British MMA fighters
Yeah.
have got into the UFC, and unfortunately, the stuff hasn't gone their way. The decision hasn't gone their way. They've lost fights. Do you feel like, and it might be causing a lot of controversy, this question is do you feel like the British MMA scene at this moment in time is padded? It's padded, is what I'm going to say, Brett. And look, if I don't ask these questions, no one's going to ask because, and this is no disrespect, because I always talk about calling out keyboard
This is-
warriors.
You know, the thing what we talked about, it all comes back to that business, innit?
Sounds-
Look at boxing. Boxing's the exact same. I don't know much about MMA, I can't talk, but boxing, you've got to pad your record. Look at any professional boxers, look at the first 5 fights. Who did they fight? Unless you're Lomachenko and come ask for a world title. But what do they do?
Yeah, but Brett, in boxing, you have to go through a regional, a national. You become an
To
English
get the
champion.
bet.
You have to, go to Europeans. You get caught out. So many fighters we thought they were fantastic, and then they get to a certain level. Then you have to break into America, and then you can start talking. And the Tyson Furies and that. We've had many examples.
What I'd say
but then
is
MMA is a new to the UK.
if you're gonna do it and then your goal is to be the world champion,
Yeah.
and all right, I need to build a few build-up fights. That's a fighter, innit?
Yeah.
But if you're gonna do it and not progress, then what's that? Can you call it that? I don't know.
Yeah, because like in
Yeah,
MMA, you guys will see it more than me. You guys are athletes. Yeah, you'll go in and I'm not saying, and there's no disrespect to any organization, but you'll go in and the guy's had his first fight and already like I'm the English champion.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And then the outcome of that is what we saw in the UFC. And this is no disrespect to any UFC fighter. You've got there, it's a business, you can get there. But do you feel like it needs, because it's so young, do you feel like we need a system in place?
That's why I keep saying I'm not an MMA guy. I've never done MMA, but the thing with wrestling, by the time of the world get to a world championships, number one, you've got to be the best in your country.
Yeah.
Number two, you've got to qualify. So anyone who fights in an Olympics is a top level.
Yeah.
Anyone who fights in the world is a top level. And that because you've fought through the system to get there, you've had to become the best junior. Now you're on the GB squad. All right, now you've got to beat so and so. Now you've got to go prove yourself in 2-3 internationals before you can go. Whereas MMA, there's realistically there's one organisation,
Yeah.
the UFC. So if you're fighting in any other, you've never really tested against. Obviously, you can test yourself, but I'm talking like you're going up against top level straight away, aren't you?
Yeah.
Whereas amateur sports, you get fed to the lions slowly, basically.
Yeah. So what's your thought on it? Because you
Yeah.
mentioned the attitude you got, you saw growing up. I don't think we've got that here. We've got too many luxuries. And then to compete against a Russian or somebody from Afghanistan or Africa or wherever that, they have to fight to survive, right?
Yeah.
It's a massive thing.
Definitely. That's why when you look at the UFC now, it's more of them people that taking over because of the mentality and stuff. But like coming back to what Brett was saying, if you want to be a world champion in wrestling, you have to be the world champion, maybe the champion first in your county. You have to be the national champion before going European champion. You need to get some point before getting to the world championship. In MMA, you could be a pro fighter. You're doing 2, 3, 4 fight, and then after you end up having the European world title, and then there's so many world champion in MMA. So many world champion in European champion in MMA. So many depending of the organization. Without disrespect to MMA, because I'm still doing MMA. But I can't put myself on the kind of rank and stuff because I haven't done that much for the sport. I'm still I could see I'm still doing it. I'm still learning as long as I'm going. I'm making it. But on my own point of view, if we have to put MMA world champion here, a wrestling world champion here, and a judo world champion, sambo world champion, man, it's level, my friend. Even you see someone like Khabib and Makachev that are UFC champion, they could tell you. They could tell you exactly how he is. Man.
They always talk about like Henry Cejudo's and the Olympic champions and all of that.
You've got to be a different level.
Yeah, but they're both different, they'll show that respect and they'll say, oh, these guys, and they'll always say, oh, look, well, he's a gold medalist, and all of that. I just, for me, it's the whole culture that's we're creating in the UK. I feel like it's
not just use the Western world, though. We can't go too controversial, but I feel like...
Well, we can, but there may be some implications.
There's some sort of agenda out there that's definitely demasculinating that winning attitude in men, that go-getter.
And to all promoters, listen, I still want to come, I still want to interview all your fighters, and this is no disrespect to no organisation.
Yannick, let's get your world title. Man.
Yeah, world title. Yeah, any organisation, I can be the world. What world or English? Let's start with English.
What champion straight away, man? What champion?
But Yannick, look, we're touching on that now. I'm 39, and for whatever reason, injuries and whatever else have you. Do you feel like every man should at least test himself once in a ring or cage or on the mats?
Definitely. If you consider yourself as a man, you have any plan to have a wife and kid, my friend, even it's not a national level, international level or whatever, you could even go in the street yourself. Ask someone, can you come and fight me? You need to test yourself. You need to know. You need to know where you are.
Should we go find? We're outside police station.
I don't know. I think I've seen that homeless man.
It's a good start. I'm the English champ. I'm the European.
Recently, I put something on.
Look, you two are athletes. Look, he's going to beat me up. He suplexed me last time. And Friday, you like sweeping me.
It's just to know where you are, but nothing bad with that. So what I was saying, men need to test themselves. Recently I posted something on my story. I pay any money to anyone that could come and spar with me in wrestling for an hour. Now, the purpose wasn't for me to win or to show something, because at some time I feel so down with myself. I'm thinking, where am I? What can I do? And I want to test myself to someone. I just want, it's not me winning someone. I want someone that's going to come and then say, I'm going to destroy this guy today. I just want to test myself. And I want to see someone coming and like, try to wrestle me as hard as possible. And I go home, I'm thinking, wow, if I had to defend my family against this guy today, I would have been, I would have been F.
And that's one of the reasons why I sit there and I just think, how does just the other day when I was saying to you, everybody else I was fighting, I was doing this, and it just felt the grip, and I was like, what? And he's just sweeping me, and I was like, what on earth?
Yeah.
And then you feel so, and you think, as a man, that's me as a man, I'm thinking, wow, there's like, you think you're doing okay,
Yeah.
you think you're progressing, but then there's always
This
that
stage,
stronger,
yeah,
and
there's
and
always
I just feel,
You're saying like I will like that with you. Then if I went somewhere now,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
happening. I wrestled Yannick. Me and Yannick, I started training again. I'd not
Yeah.
wrestled in a long time, and I told you I've not been like thrown to my back for probably 10 years. Like I'm talking,
yeah.
me and Yannick's going at it. Straight up, like, you
Yeah.
bastard.
Yeah.
I'll have to get him
No,
back.
I love training with Brett, man. It's about skill. At the moment, as most of the time go when you have, I think the purpose changing in life. You see, you start having family, you having wife, you have different purpose now, start growing. But with him all the time training, is mine. You could see when I put my leg there, I could see his face. I know where he's gonna go. I could change it. It's become like a game of chess,
It is,
and then we
yeah.
enjoy it.
It's good. It's better even. You know what's crazy? Yeah. The more like right now, if you jump on a mat, you're just thinking of survive. Oh, what can I do?
Yeah.
You know, when you get like to a level, it's like it's good for your mental health. It's
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
literally
yeah,
like playing chess because you're problem solving. You're thinking, all right, I can try this. Oh no, no, I defend that. So no one.
Yeah.
So you're just constantly thinking, man. It's more of a mental battle.
Yeah.
That's why you watch. You know, if you watch, I always say this: you watch two of the best, it's a boring match.
Yeah,
If you watch two beginners, it's exciting because they don't know what they're doing.
You
But
wanna
they just
survive,
Is that-
yeah.
is that
they're just
why?
throwing
You
in.
wanna survive.
Yeah. If you watch two guys, all you're gonna see is like no one wants to attack because if you make one wrong
Mistake,
that's
yeah,
it.
it's
Took
done.
you back
It's
and
finished.
Yeah,
finished.
but it's good
It's-
for that then.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. And look, you've come here. You've been here 10 years. You've got this gym. You're doing so much for the community. You're doing so much for Bradford. And I want to start talking about stuff. And this is what we spoke about, Unfiltered. We want to get different religions together. We want to get different ethnicities together. We all have one common language. It's combat sports.
Yeah.
You know, whether I've gone into the gym for one day, whether he's a medalist, whether he's a world champion, whatever you guys are, we all have one thing in common. It's the combat sports, it's the mat, it's the ring, it's the cage. And we want to start breaking down barriers. People are coming to Bradford and they're talking so negative about it.
Yeah.
You know, you're doing, and that's the thing that
That's
we're gonna have to do, I'm trying to say to every coach I speak to, let's nurture our kids. Whether it's the first day they come in with egos, we want to get rid of them egos. We want to get rid of racism. We want to get rid of, this bias, unconscious bias that we all have.
attitude.
Yeah, this attitude thing, because that's what I'm gonna start pushing in, because we've got a voice, we've got a channel, we've got millions of views, we go around the world, and we're gonna start doing that. So, do you have any words for obviously people that talk negative about Bradford first of all, or religion or culture?
I would say to them people, this is the wrong path or the wrong way to go when it comes to Bradford. Just looking at my own personal story of life, I've been born Christian all my life, and I revert in Bradford. Just from what people, I never slept in the night and then I saw the Prophet Muhammad saying to me, you need to revert. Never. So just for the people around me, I went to the mosque and then they start learning about Islam and then I decided to revert. Now, I have all my family, which is a Christian family, and I'm the only one Muslim.
Okay.
I would never strike my family because they're Christian.
Yeah.
And then I would never strike a Muslim because my family is Christian.
Yeah.
And I try to bring that together. So you talking about that, I feel, it's proper concerning about me. Me trying always to bring people together. Wherever you black, you English, you Muslim, you Christian, we could come together.
All brown.
All brown, yeah, all brown.
Yeah.
We come together. So no crash word about Bradford, because Bradford it recently was a city of culture, I think so.
Yeah, it is.
It
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
city
yeah,
of
yeah,
culture. So we have all that culture mixed together. When you come to my gym, you're going to find Algerian kids, Tunisian kids, you're going to find Moroccan kids, Pakistani kids,
Russian,
English,
yeah,
Russian.
English,
They all together because we working together going forward. And when I came here, asylum seeker, and I get granted to be in the UK. And the question that I asked to myself at the point is not what the UK is going to do for me. Is what am I going to do for the UK?
And that's the attitude I think
You
everybody
see,
should have.
in BD7, I look around, I see kids, around in the street, youngsters selling drugs and stuff. I think I need to change this.
Yeah,
I need to
yeah.
make a changement for this community. I need to
Yeah.
bring something different that's going to change this perspective.
Yeah.
What was that? Was that passing through the combat sport? What do I know that I could give them that could make them change in their life to certain thing?
And just the thing on sport, it's kind of like that racism thing. It just goes out the window because as soon as you get on that mat and you shake hands,
Yeah.
it don't matter who you are,
You are.
what you are, what you look
Same
like,
technique, same thing.
everything. You just both talking the same language. And I've
Yeah,
been
yeah.
abroad. I remember once I went to Moldova for a competition, and I was like the English guy, and they must have all thought we're part of this Ukraine team because I went down with Ukrainians, and they couldn't even speak English, so I'm trying to use like sign language, and some Moldovan guy comes up. I'm like, what? He's like,
Yeah.
basically asking, do I do sign language? I'm
Yeah,
like, no,
yeah,
no, no,
no.
I'm English.
Yeah.
But like, it's a universal language. It's respect, honor, shake hands. You're going through the same thing, and I think it just takes away that thing of like white, brown, black, all that crap, that people talk about. That's completely. That doesn't even matter.
And for me, whoever's coming to Bradford, just watch out because I'm gonna start talking and I'm gonna start sticking up for my city first of all, and sticking up for any race, religion, and like-minded people, whether you're black, white, Asian, whatever you are. If you're on the right, if you're doing well, I'll always stick up for them people. So I see a lot of people come to Bradford, and we're trending at the moment. Bradford this, Bradford that, and you're all taking whatever. But just watch out, watch this space because we're gonna start talking about Bradford. We're gonna put gyms on the map. We're gonna take him to different competitions, and we're gonna do it for the right reasons. That's what I believe, Yannick, and I hope you guys can do that. Obviously from your gyms and as people.
Trying it.
I think I agree with you, but just one thing, I think the order that was sitting, I think we did that wrong. I think it
Which
was supposed
way?
to be
Right in the
white,
middle.
brown,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
white, brown, black.
No, you should have put him at an audio.
Look, as long as we can have a laugh and joke
Yeah.
about it, this sport, these people, if you can all have a laugh and
I
joke,
should have
and we
got a
can,
sunbed, man.
yeah, and look, we can all have a laugh and we can all have a joke and we can all live happily together, and that's what I think. A lot of people. What's the name? I don't even know. I can't even remember it. That far right lady who's always going online and she said something about nuking Bradford and whatever else, Katie, whatever her name is. You know what? You can't break this because I've got a black guy here, I've got a white guy here. He's a Christian, he's a Muslim, I'm a Muslim. You can't break it. You nuke us all you want. I think
Cockroaches.
we're in UK, in Bradford. I think it's one of the most unique cities in Bradford because we all get on. If we get on together, and which we can take on the whole of UK.
Yeah, it's
honestly,
all together.
all together. Yeah. So do one, because if anyone's getting nuked, it's not us, man. But have you got any final words about your gym?
One thing I wanted to ask actually, because like we're talking about this, I'm always looking like, maybe I should move here. I'm talking to you, like, I'd love to go to Canada or somewhere. The dream of UK, did it live up to the expectation? Reality? Do you miss home? What do you think? Truthfully, what it the right move or?
Truthfully, I think it's the expectation is not what we expect. I think people from outside the UK they expect something that really is not the case.
It's hard.
It's really hard and tough than what people think. you know,
Yeah.
and it's coming as well. We have that weather that is completely different.
Nice
It could
weather.
mess you
Yeah.
up. No nice man. No nice weather at all. We have the weather factor. We have the lot of you know, the government rules and stuff. We have a lot of
No
things.
freedom.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
freedom really. There's no it's very rare to find a true relationship with people, friendship or whatever it is.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
It's and especially the time what we're living in, Brett. I think obviously Yorkshire born and bred. You know what I mean? But uh, but you look at it and you think, you know, people have to decide whether they want beans and toast or put eating on. You know, it's very
Nah, it's
hard.
rough,
It's
man.
it's
rough, it's not
rough
easy.
out there. Yeah, it is, man. It's a grind, but hopefully together and as long as we've got peace and unity, you know, the likes of Tommy Robbins, I don't even want to say the names and all of that, creating all these. Mate, why don't we put all our energy together and look after the poor people in our community or the less fortunate, and, you know, once a month go feed the homeless or something, rather than going on and creating divide and all of that. But I don't want to go on about that, but you know, it is what it is. But hopefully,
Yeah.
great people like yourselves make a change in the UK and people's mentality anyway. Have you got any final words, Brett,
No,
yourself?
I appreciate it. Always good to see Yannick. Like I say, like you were saying, I bring my daughter here.
Yeah.
That's it. I trust him as a coach and as a person. So,
Yeah.
a great person to be around.
And Yannick, yourself, anything for the people watching about your gym, getting people into your gym?
Of course. So because I have this opportunity, what I'm gonna do as well, because this is to get everyone together and then build the Bradford. So for the next few months, I'm gonna make a post. So if you're going through as well our Instagram, I'm gonna open a big file to a beginning course for Sambo combat. If you guys want to come and try it, it's gonna be 3 months free beginner classes, and you're gonna have free equipment given for you just to come and support the community, so you guys can join and then learn what is Sambo. Get into any wrestling sport. Get into wrestling, get into judo, get into Sambo. It's gonna be healthy for you. So we have this opportunity. We're giving you as well opportunity to give back to Bradford what we have.
Yeah, and guys, look, if there's anybody watching out there, he's doing that for the community, for Bradford. If there's any business owners out there, you want to sponsor, you want to give something back, because we're all out to make money. We all want to be comfortable. If there's any businesses out there, you know, just DM Yannick that want to sponsor, and you do that for him as a person, because he's doing that for our community and our children. So if there is anybody out there, just feel free to DM myself or Yannick. So it's not, and I'll try to help you as much as I can as well,
Thank you.
Yannick, whether that's a post or whether that's a share, or, you know, it don't cost me anything, but we'll get it.
Wait, we haven't finished as well. Suplex. Can we get them out?
Oh
No.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
the thing
Everyone
was-
get upset.
no,
We need to
the-
suplex
no,
this
the thing
guy.
was-
And we need a jacket. It's gonna get.
No, why me? Why the brown guy?
No.
The weak guy. Or the
You're
brown
medium. You're
Medium
medium.
guy.
You're medium.
Yeah.
Either you're white chocolate, either you're black chocolate. There's no brown chocolate. Yeah.
Why is it I have to get
City of
super?
culture, man.
No, city of
Culture,
My
man.
thing was, every guy that I interview
Also,
is
you
gonna.
know-
I'm gonna
no.
hold the pads for him. 20 seconds.
pads,
I want
man.
to see how many kicks you can do in 20
Listen,
seconds.
if you
and it's
come to
gonna
a
be
judo sambo centre, you get thrown. If you go to a kickboxing centre, you're getting kicked.
No, I'm not that guy. I'm not losing my dignity.
It's
I
all
will
Not dignity,
compete.
no, it's just
It's okay. We do
we're
both.
showing a
Okay,
technique.
okay, you're showing the technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We kicking and we throw it.
Okay, guys.
So
I
kick
didn't
him
want to
first
do
and then
this.
throw him
And
after.
then after.
I think these guys have taken the city of culture thing a bit too far and the integration a bit too far. But I'm gonna get me.
This is your
Okay.
initiation now.
Okay, cool. I'm getting initiated in Sambo. Yeah. But listen, it's a pleasure speaking to you, Yannick. You know, all the best for your future. I hope the gym does really well, and I hope you have loads of world champions, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
Yannick, appreciate it. As
Thank
always,
you,
man.
bro. Thank you.